Now we are going to listen to Nightwish Romanticide. This is the official live video. If anyone wants to tell me what concert this is from, let's hit it. Let's do it. Wacken, 2013. Boom, dude. Okay, yeah, tons of great onsets. And now, though, I don't think compression is necessarily mutually exclusive with hard onsets. You can have a hard onset with compression, but her onsets all here are actually very balanced, especially even between the operatic higher head voice sound and these like more beltier sounds. All the onsets are actually very balanced because she's coordinating her breath with the motion of the voice at the same time. If she were using if she were sending air and then using the breath, that's a soft onset. If she were using the voice and bringing the chords together before using the air, that would result in a hard onset like right? So let's get to the beginning, hear those operatic tones more. Let's get it. So those onsets were literally just up in her head. Now, I'm not at the right pitch, but you see what I'm saying. It's just really well coordinated breath to relaxed head, good posture, good everything. Nothing, we would expect nothing less than, you know, perfect onsets from Floor, right? Digs into that nice gritty chest. It's gonna set her up for some awesome belting in this next part. I love tiger covered in wool, devil face carnivore. It's just so like, it's so evilly seductive. It's awesome. Perfect for this song. Perfect for the emotion. Also guitar sounds great. Drums are great. Everything is mastered perfectly for this. Elder covered in oil, that's what it was? My bad. I heard tiger covered in wool, and my ears are telling me what I want to hear. Elder covered in oil. That's even deeper, man. That gives me more things to talk about. I love it. Eider? All right, I'm deaf, guys. I'm gonna retire my ears. Good night. Good stream. Okay, it's a type of duck. Okay, it's a duck covered in oil. It's a duck that can no longer fly. Changes the entire meaning of the song. Quack quack. That's fine. Moving on. I'm not gonna talk about the lyrics anymore, guys. I've lost that privilege. So the reason she can bring that grit into the sound, and we'll go back just a second, the reason she can bring that grit right at the beginning of the sound, again, is because of those perfectly coordinated onsets. This isn't in a super high part of her range. It's not in the super low part. Right in the middle. So just pay attention. She's coordinating her breath perfectly with that setup in the voice that allows to add that little bit of grit, a little bit of rasp into the sound that we really enjoy. Now, it's not interfering with the actual vocalism. Her growls are usually all with the false folds. They don't get in the way of her actual voice, which she can still use, right? She doesn't use a lot of raspy singing. We don't hear that from her. We always hear very clean vocal occlusion with some grit added on top. Great duet right there. You know what's cool is like hearing the Marco and Floor duets as time goes on, right? We talk about them individually as time goes on, the journey that their voices have taken over their careers. But now let's think for just a second on, this was towards the earlier days when they were singing together. And then as their colors combine, they kind of, it's almost like they learn how to match each other better, right? And that's such a cool thing about analyzing two relationships of singers. People will listen to people's discographies from beginning to end. And now we get to hear these two singers in their relationship as well. And I want to dig more into that as time goes on. More stuff we listen to. I think that's really cool, a cool idea. But yeah, let's listen to Empu rock out. Yeah, someone asked Tank. Tank, if you see this, please tell us what guitar he's using. Yo, so maybe it didn't stick out to anyone, but that belt just there was one of the most chesty, like, full belts that she's done You know, she plays these concerts really safe, relatively. You know, her voice can do anything, but they're long concerts. She plays them safe. She does them well. The way she brought that voice up there was some of the most chest timbre we've gotten. Want to hear this again? All right, Marco. Sound just deepens. Yeah, you called it, Starkey. Yo, let's go back. You guys know I used to talk a lot about slides. I haven't in a little while, but we haven't heard really good slides. Vocal slides, my friends. NDG. Someone time him out for 10 years. Slides, though. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. Oh, yo, that was nuts. Okay, let's talk about it, guys. The vocal slide is basically the only way you can do it well is if the body is in line, the breath is fully supporting the voice, and you know exactly how you're shifting registers. We're going to talk about Marco. We're going to talk about Marco's slide, and then we're going to talk about Flora's slide, right? A little farther back. Okay, so Marco's slide. He kind of goes up through his chest voice. It's clean. He starts adding grit to get through his passaggio. Very creative way of getting through the passage, right? Getting through that transition part in the voice where we have to go from chest to head. And then as that grit comes in, it's easier for him to just mix in some really high head voice. So... right? That's how he does it. Really creative. The way I would do it. What's the high note? It's like a D, E flat, something like that. See, now it's a different thing. The grit actually, adding false fold grit actually slows down the voice in the same way that you would slow down the voice in a bel canto technique. So it's the same kind of healthy vocal structure and using grit in that sense, right? I want to try it again. I have never tried singing metal stuff until we started doing these kinds of reactions here, so it's super cool. Yeah, I mean, it's a type of glissando, right? So if the air is in place, the air is supporting the sound, you keep the air moving steadily and steadily increasing in speed as you increase pitch, because you have to do that, but everything else has to be perfectly in line. Like your posture, you need to be sitting up and straight. So it's more like... that's where a D, right? A D above middle C. That makes sense as to where Marco's passaggio would be for a male, high male voice, right? That's kind of what he is. A D is a good place for his passaggio to start. That's where he starts adding in the grit. If we'll go back for a second, we can confirm that. It was around here, around E or F, a little bit higher than D. So. Right? So sick. I can't play bass. Sorry, I'm ruled out. So if he uses that false fold closure as a mode of getting through the passaggio, which now that we're talking about it is probably something a lot of metal singers do, super, super, super good. Super good vocal technique, because it's not hurting when you're doing that when you're supported by air. I used to try to do that and I would cough because I stopped sending air when I brought my false folds together. But as you add grit, boom. Oh my gosh, 48 hours to learn bass. Dunk, 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 dunk. Now, that I think covers everything Marco's doing here in an awesome way. Able to sustain that because the false fold and the voice depressurize each other so that he can keep a steadier stream of air in that stratospheric high note up there. D, E flat, whatever that is. Amazing. Now, let's listen to our Valkyrie goddess, right? A little different. She keeps going up a whole other octave. She keeps going up a whole other octave for her voice, which is ridiculous. But the way she does it is completely different. This is where male voices who've gone through a male puberty, which I was told I should correct in my terminology, as well as matured female voices, you work very differently when working through the passaggio. What she does to get through that to that really high pingy resonance is no, that's not in my usable range, right? But that's the idea. You lift the soft palate and you can create that high pinginess through vocal tract resonance instead of even balance here, right? And Boo's like, yo, shit, these guys are out of their minds. So she does the same approach, keeps the air steady, and just uses a different type of acoustic to achieve that because her voice is different. It's very different. But they're so in sync. Even harmonically going through the slide, they're so in sync, and that just requires this level of awareness that technique to do all that stuff has to be completely out of their minds. That has to be built in through muscle memory so that they can just pay attention to being in sync with each other. They can't think at all about what they're doing. They just do it. They have to be in sync with each other to make this happen. I mean, dude, that moment is so awesome. I could talk about that for another hour, but thank you, Starkey. Yeah, you guys clearly got me with this one. And Forkless, thanks for bumping it up, man. That was a great idea. All right, let's listen to it one more time just for shits, and then we'll end it, and we'll get to another one. What time is it? Floors, floor fan. Was awesome, guys. Awesome. I'll figure out a way to demonstrate some more metal vocals, but I learned something from this in that the false fold grit is just a really cool way of getting through the male passaggio. It's what Marco does so well. I love it. If you're a guy and you want to learn how to sing with proper, false fold closure, but if you get up into your passage region, your passaggio, your transition notes, all you got to do is start adding a little grit, which is a feeling that happens above where the vocal folds are. It feels kind of like right in here. Right? And somehow that just kind of worked when applying it with, you know, good vocal technique ideas that I've learned in school. And somehow we just reached a point that where, you know, proven vocal technique and metal singer scream technique has coincided. Isn't it amazing? Milo, that was very cute when you put your tongue out like that.